In Jackson Hole, Paul's probably going to be talking about the labor issue. Right now, the focus is on the labor. Um, I remember last year, the data came out and the Powell was talking like, we can't really understand fully comprehending the data because it's been like affected by huge migrants, get involved, blah, blah. But now that the issue is there's there may not be enough workers in the labor intensive works. And earlier days, with the Elon involved, there's been a lot of firing in the government work. So I look at the other day, like other years during the Biden era, the major growth behind was one, government was spending like hell, and two, they were accepting a bunch of migrants, illegal and legal, and they were the ones who were really like spending a lot because those like they tend to spend a lot on the essential goods and providing jobs that tends to be spending most of their earnings into like everyday goods and stuff. So that like they tends to be not really saving money, but they tends to be spending it all. So what happened was when the COVID hit, the money got like sent into a whole bunch of people, right? The government sent a bunch of money, and those money went into big corporations. So that was the driving force on the stock market as the companies got basically a bunch of money that government spent. Government sent it out to the people who spent. We don't have that anymore. The money that was sent electronically from government to the individuals' banks accounts, a bunch of it went into MMF and got sucked in by the Yellen for issuing the short-term treasury, which is coming due, and Besant has to make a choice. He was criticizing Yellen before, but he now realized that he doesn't have any choice but issuing the short-term debt, as the long-term treasury is still like 4.34. That's too damn high. So he can really like switch into long-term. He has to do short-term. Usually the short-term money coming from MMF market and then, gets fulfilled by foreign investors and creditors. But it seems like the foreign investors are shunned away after the Trump's tariff issue. They think that our government, our country's economy may have reached the zenith, reached the peak for the growth. And they still think, a lot of economists still think the tariffs effect is going to be coming and hurt the economic growth plan. So I also agree that we should not be putting our guards down. As I said before, us distributors, before the tariffs announcement in April, we gathered up as much as possible on the inventory that could last until like July, like 3 months supply, and now that the new more severe, should I say, tariffs has been placed, we had to raise our fee as well. Like, for example, I used to be 10%. Even before it was 0%. Now it went to 10%. So we had to raise our price 10%, and they raised another 5%. So now we had to raise another 5%. And that also means that our costs also raised. So we're just passing it on. Retailers tends to be able to suck up a lot of their cost because when it comes down to just dollar-based, their cost isn't increased as much as us, and also their margin is huge. A lot of retailers has over like 35 to 50% margin on their products. Depends on the category. So I'm just saying they have room to not move if government pressure them, or or the sales not good. I think the sales is gonna dwindle because the employment issue. A lot of people got laid off in the government jobs. As I said before, government jobs was the driving force of our economy during the Biden's era, and during the Trump time, there are not as many, and they're not hiring as many. They're focused on investing into AI and the infrastructure, not really into human capital. So, and they've been kicking out a lot of immigrants. So, I mean, they were supposed to not even come here from the beginning, but yeah, they kicked them out. So now there are going to be way fewer people spending money in the restaurants, rent, and all. So it may not seem immediately, but it will like pile up. You probably can see it like in when you're visiting restaurants and all. There may not be as many people, or it's not as crowded because people don't have enough money in their pocket. If there are fewer people spending in the essential goods, it like tickles down to everyone in the future. So anyway, so those two driving force, immigrant spending and the government job spending, they're gone. So we lost those growth, and the only theme in the market is investing into AI. So as long as the foreign investors are thinking that the U.S. has a chance of growing faster, or at least still spending, still like growing at a certain rapid pace, then it may be still good. But if there's not enough AI driving force, and they think that there could be possibly a stagflation, that the economy is not growing as fast while the inflation staggers due to tariffs and all, then they're not going to invest as much. They may pull out. They may go to like Europe, Asia. So you gotta watch out on the dollar strength and the 10-year Treasury. If 10-year Treasury goes like, let's say 4.5, it could be a danger sign. So you gotta really watch out those. And Jackson Hole meeting, Powell's going to definitely talk about the labor. As I said in the beginning, the labor measurement has been changed. Last year was a lot about confusion due to a bunch of illegal immigrants and mixed in the labor participation. And now you got to think about the job openings and the labor data, like considering bunch of government jobs being gone, and also the immigrant participations are gone. So if unemployment rises, then we are in trouble. So we got to really watch out on how the unemployment data is coming out, and whether the rise in PPI transfer over to the CPI and PCE. The Fed's favorite data is actually PCE, but I think at this point, Fed is thinking that our economy is solid with almost full employment, and if it is so, and they think that there could be a possibility of spiking in inflation, then they may be hesitant from lowering the interest rate. But now with a bunch of pressure, and they see the weakening on the like job opening data, so they may actually enter into insurance cut. But Powell definitely doesn't want to say that in the Jackson Hole, because if you do so, then it's gonna just drive up the market like crazy. Like they'll think that they'll make the interest rate cut as 100% sure, then they'll move in a weird way that Powell cannot like do anything else. So I think Powell may possibly be very hawkish during the Jackson Hole meeting, and market may not be expecting those because they think that Powell will be dovish. And that's also interesting factors that you have to watch out. If Powell is willing to go super hawkish, for the sake of saving some optionality for the Fed later on and FOMC next month, then yeah, some people, some investors and traders gotta watch out on those. Right, that's about it. It's just some additional thing that I wanted to talk about that I couldn't talk about in Korean. All right, have a good night, guys.